Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. This is Personal Financeology, where I talk about your finances and technology, how the two can combine, and also technology and money are part of our everyday lives. If you have yet to subscribe, please go ahead and click on that subscribe option for me. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, click on that thumbs up. Click on the bells if you want notifications for each time I upload a video to YouTube. Today's topic, we're going to talk about, yet again, the Apple Card. And this morning I came across an interesting article by MarketWatch that was discussing Apple and Goldman Sachs. We know that the Apple Card has been released and it's currently available in your pocket or phone. Both? One of the two. Anyways, first, we know that the Apple Card is created by Apple and not a bank. Quotations. However, Goldman Sachs is the bank that's backing Apple because Apple, as we know it, is not a bank. Apple is a tech company. So, that's where Goldman Sachs steps in. And what's interesting is that neither company, Apple nor Goldman Sachs, is reporting your payment history or lack of payment history to the credit bureaus. And there's three. So, the first one and most famous, at least most recently, we have the Equifax breach, where basically half of Americans had their data stolen. And then you also have the other two, TransUnion and Experian. What does this mean? You're a beta tester. Apple has launched a product and it's got a couple kinks in it. So unless you'd like to get a little kinky, then this may not be great for you. Because ultimately, you want your credit score to go up. And if you're paying on time, usually that's what happens. Talking about FICO and the credit bureaus, that brings me to the next portion of the video here. We have a range. Usually it's from 300 to about 850. If you have a score below 660, you're gonna have a difficult time getting a credit card that's unsecured. And what does an unsecured card even mean? Well, it means you pick up the phone, you go online, and you apply for a credit card. Apple, for example, says they can approve you in 1 minute, 60 seconds. And basically, let's say they give you a credit limit of $10,000. You can go out and spend $10,000 of someone else's money, and then hopefully you'll pay that back. If you don't pay it back in full, you're gonna rack up some interest, and that's where banks or credit cards make their money, by doing these things. Now, if your score is below 660, usually a secured card is the way to go. And what a secured card is basically you give your money. Let's say, for example, you have $500. You give it to a bank, they give you a secured card, and after a certain period of time, if you're making on-time payments with your money, it's money that you have given the bank in advance. So that way you're basically putting collateral down. That way if you don't pay your bill, it's your money already that you've given up front. The bank has less risk. If you don't remember the mortgage crisis of 2009, maybe do a little Google search here, that'll help you out. But basically, it was Goldman Sachs was actually fined by the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, for $550 million. And what were they fined for? They were fined for lending to subprime borrowers. Now, Apple has been giving credit cards, the Apple Card, to just about everybody. And as long as you have a score of 600, you're probably good to go. But those borrowers from 600 to 660 might be at a higher risk of not paying that bill, paying that monthly payment. To break down your credit score by FICO, 300 to 629 is bad credit. 630 to 689 is considered to be fair credit, with a credit score of 690 to about 719, that's good. And finally, but not last, or least, whatever that saying is, 720 to 850 is where everybody wants to be. It's the magical, excellent area. Now, you might ask, what is exactly a subprime mortgage? Back in 2009, Goldman Sachs in particular, they were giving loans, mortgages, to people that could not afford to pay the mortgage. Maybe somebody that didn't have a job that took a mortgage out on a multi-million-dollar home. And they were doing it and defrauding investors and lying about it. That's why they had to pay that $550 fee, which is chump change to a company like Goldman Sachs. Before we get to the conclusion of the video, I'm going to have a little couple takeaways here. Now, this might be good or bad news. If you're trying to build credit, then being approved with a credit score of 600 to 660 for the Apple Card is great, right? Well, it's not so great if it's not going to count to the credit bureaus, because you're not building a credit history with the Apple Card. Whether you make your payment on time or pay it in full or pay it daily, weekly, however you choose to do so with this Apple Card, it's not being reported to any credit bureau. So yes, it's great because you got approved and your score's not great, but at the same time you're not going to get credit. It's like doing extra credit and not getting the credit for it. You want credit for the work that you put in, right? I know I would. Now, it could be good if perhaps you were approved for 15 grand and you went out and did a shopping spree and now you're up to debt in your eyeballs and you have no clue how you're going to be able to make that payment because the minimum is too much and you can't afford it. So, hey, if you don't pay it, big deal. Well, what could happen, and most likely, or typically, if you miss a payment, then what will happen, the credit card company is going to charge you a late fee, but Apple says that there's no fee. So will they charge you a late fee? Probably not, maybe, I don't know. Anyone not pay their card yet? It's still relatively new, and if you haven't paid your card already, and it's past 30 days, then you should be having that reported to the credit bureau, but if it's not reported, then who cares? Whatever, go knock yourself out. So, is this good? Is this bad? I don't know, but basically Apple is treating everybody like beta testers, and it's because they're a technology company, they're not a bank. Goldman Sachs, however, is a bank, and they do know better, but they're not on the up and up necessarily, so, I don't know. I personally don't have an Apple Card. I'm on a jailbroken phone, and I'd rather keep my jailbreak than have a piece of titanium, shiny gold Apple. But whatever floats your boat. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe already, or give the video a thumbs up, and or click on that little bell so you get notified when I upload the next video. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, and take care. My name again, Kris with Personal Financeology.